Welcome to our channel, a place where we share honest, science-backed advice to help you stay strong, healthy, and confident as the years go by. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that most men never mention out loud, even though it quietly affects nearly half of them by age 50. Mornings that once began with energy and certainty start to feel sluggish, uncertain, and less reliable. Many men simply accept it, blaming stress or age, thinking this is just how life is now. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be this way. A simple nightly habit, something you can drink before bed, can support blood flow, balance hormones, deepen your sleep, and help you wake up with clarity and strength again. So stay with us until the end. And if you find this valuable, don't forget to subscribe, tap the like button, and share this with someone who could use this knowledge. Part 1. The silent struggle. For many men, especially as they cross the threshold of 50, life changes in ways that are subtle at first, but grow heavier with time. The mornings don't feel the same. Where there was once vigor, there is now hesitation. Where there was certainty in the body's response, there is now doubt. It doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in quietly, almost unnoticeably, until one morning a man realizes that the spark that once defined him feels dim. He doesn't talk about it, not to his wife, not to his doctor, often not even to himself. Instead, he buries it under excuses. I'm just tired. It's been a stressful week. Or, this is what happens when you get older. In silence, he carries this burden, thinking he is alone. But he is not. The numbers tell the story. Nearly half of men at this stage of life will face some form of erectile difficulty. Yet silence remains the rule, not the exception. This silence eats away at more than the body. It strikes the mind, cutting into confidence and stealing away joy. A man who no longer trusts his body finds it harder to trust himself. He avoids intimacy, withdraws from conversations, pretends everything is fine. On the outside, he carries on, smiling at work, helping his family, living the life expected of him. But inside, the question gnaws, am I losing myself? One patient once whispered, sitting across from his physician, I feel like I'm fading. He wasn't speaking only of his body, but of his identity. The body and the spirit are woven together. And when performance slips, confidence crumbles. It's a cycle, one that feeds on itself. Fear fuels stress. Stress sabotages sleep. Poor sleep wrecks hormones, and poor hormones weaken the body further. Round and round it spins, until the man who once felt invincible begins to question if his best years are already gone. But the truth, though buried under shame and silence, is far brighter. The body is not betraying him. It is sending a message, a whisper at first, then louder, a signal that the highways of blood within him need care, that the vessels carrying life to every corner of his body are asking for attention. This is not just about age, it is about circulation, about the rivers that fuel vitality. Imagine the vascular system as an intricate map of roads, some wide highways, some narrow side streets. For decades, they carried traffic with ease, but over time, with wear, neglect, and stress, they begin to narrow. Small cracks appear, the flow slows, the paths stiffen. And where do these problems first reveal themselves? In the most delicate roads, the smallest vessels, the ones in the penis. It is there, in those early morning hours, that the first warning signs show. It feels cruel, but in reality, it is protective. The body is alerting him long before a heart attack, long before the arteries in his chest close tight. The first whispers of vascular trouble are spoken through performance. To ignore them is to miss the opportunity for change. To face them is to reclaim strength, not just in intimacy, but in life itself. Still, the silence persists. Too many men fear the conversation more than the condition. They fear judgment, or worse, confirmation that something is broken beyond repair. But nothing could be further from the truth. The body is resilient, capable of renewal at any age. What matters is understanding and the courage to act. This is where our story begins, not with defeat, but with awareness. Because once a man understands that the struggle is not his alone, that millions walk this path quietly beside him, the shame begins to lift. And in its place, possibility emerges. Possibility that the issue is not aging, but blood flow. Possibility that renewal can begin not with a pill or a desperate measure, but with something as simple as what he chooses before bed. Possibility that tomorrow morning can feel different, not by chance, but by choice. So we step forward into the silence, not to dwell in it, but to break it, to name the struggle, to strip away the shame, and to prepare for the truth that will follow. Because the man who whispers, "I feel like I'm fading," deserves to hear another truth whispered back, "You can shine again." This first step is the hardest, but also the most liberating. Acknowledging that the decline is real, but not inevitable. Understanding that silence helps no one, and that knowledge, applied daily, can restore what was thought lost. And so we continue into the blood vessels themselves, into the molecule that holds the key, and into the simple, nightly ritual that supports renewal. The journey out of silence begins now, and with it, the return of confidence, vitality, and the mornings that remind a man he is still alive, still strong, still himself. Part 2. The hidden engine of vitality. When we strip away the layers of silence and embarrassment, we arrive at the true center of male vitality: circulation. Every moment of life depends on the constant delivery of oxygen and nutrients through the blood. It is the river that carries energy to muscles, fuel to the brain, and sensitivity to nerves. Without strong circulation, no organ, no tissue, no part of the body can thrive. But circulation is not just about volume, it's about flexibility, timing, and chemistry. The heart pumps with rhythm, but the vessels must open wide enough to receive. Here lies the secret that few men understand. Their ability to perform in the morning or at night hinges on a molecule so small it is invisible, yet so powerful it earned a Nobel Prize in medicine. That molecule is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the hidden engine of vitality. It tells the vessels when to relax, when to open, when to allow the rush of blood that turns desire into reality. Without it, the highways of circulation stiffen, traffic slows, and what once felt effortless becomes a struggle. A man in his 60s once confessed, "It's strange. My heart is fine. My tests look normal. But I can't feel the same power anymore." His doctor nodded knowingly, because standard tests often miss the first signs of vascular decline. They look at the main roads, the coronary arteries, the large vessels, but nitric oxide lives in the side streets, the smaller vessels, where the earliest cracks appear. And it is there, in the delicate balance of blood flow, that performance is won or lost. Science has shown that nitric oxide production declines steadily with age. At 20, the body produces it freely, without thought. By 40, levels have already dropped significantly. By 60, they may be less than half of what they once were. This is not a personal failure, it is biology. But biology can be influenced. The foods we eat, the habits we keep, even what we drink before bed, all of these either fuel nitric oxide or starve it. Think of the body as an orchestra. The heart is the drum, steady and strong. The vessels are the strings, bending and resonant. Nitric oxide is the conductor, guiding the music, ensuring harmony. Without the conductor, the orchestra stumbles. Notes fall flat, rhythm falters, and what was once a symphony becomes noise. To restore vitality, the conductor must return. This is why performance is not just a matter of desire. Desire may spark the flame, but circulation is the fuel. A man may long for intimacy, but without nitric oxide opening the vessels, the flame cannot catch. And when this happens repeatedly, the frustration is profound. It is not merely physical, it is emotional. Confidence wanes, self-doubt grows, and relationships strain. But here is where hope enters. Nitric oxide can be restored. The decline of age is not the end, but an invitation to act. Science has uncovered natural ways to support this molecule, to encourage the vessels to open once more, to restore the harmony of circulation. And one of the simplest, most powerful methods happens not in the morning, not in the afternoon, but at night, before bed, when the body prepares for rest. Why night? Because sleep is when repair happens, hormones rise, cells rebuild, and circulation resets. If the body is given the right support before sleep, it works through the night to restore strength. By morning, the results are not just felt, they are seen in the renewed confidence of a body that remembers what it once could do. Let us imagine a man again. He has carried his silence for years, believing his decline irreversible. One night, instead of another restless attempt to sleep, he chooses differently. He drinks a simple, natural mixture, rich in the compounds his body craves. Nitrates, antioxidants, minerals that feed nitric oxide. He sleeps more deeply than he has in months. And in the morning, he notices a difference. Small at first, but undeniable. For the first time in years, he wakes not with doubt, but with strength. This is not fantasy. It is the result of chemistry, of the body receiving what it needs at the moment it repairs itself. When nitric oxide returns, blood flows freely, and the orchestra plays again. Muscles feel stronger, the brain sharper, intimacy possible. It is not just performance that returns. It is vitality itself. And so the hidden engine of vitality comes into focus. It is not found in a pill bottle. It does not require a secret formula. It exists within the body already, waiting for the right spark to awaken it. That spark is nitric oxide, and the choices made before bed determine whether it flickers or flames. From this understanding, the journey deepens, because once we see the power of circulation, we can choose to nourish it. The foods on the plate, the movements of the body, the drink before bed, all of them shape the river within. And in shaping the river, we shape our mornings, our confidence, our lives. The hidden engine is no longer hidden. It is waiting ready for the man who chooses to listen. Part 3. The Power of Nightly Rituals. Night has always carried a weight of mystery. For centuries, healers and elders have said that what you do before bed shapes not only your sleep, but your life. In modern science, we now understand that this is more than tradition. It is truth. The final hour of the evening, the ritual before sleep, sets the stage for repair, renewal, and recovery. Many men think of nighttime only as rest, a pause from the chaos of the day, but in reality, the body is more active at night than at any other time. Hormones surge, blood vessels mend, cells sweep away toxins, the brain reorganizes memory. Night is not just silence, it is a symphony of restoration. And what you give your body before it enters this state determines how well the music plays. Consider this: when you end the day with processed foods, alcohol, or sugar, you are not feeding repair. You are feeding inflammation. The vessels stiffen, nitric oxide fades, hormones falter. Sleep becomes shallow, broken, restless. By morning, you wake with fog, weakness, and disappointment. The cycle continues. But when you choose wisely, when you drink something rich in natural compounds that fuel circulation, you are priming the body for recovery. The vessel walls relax, nitric oxide rises, sleep deepens, hormones align. By morning, you wake not drained, but renewed. The difference may seem subtle at first, but over nights and weeks, it compounds into transformation. Let us enter the room of a man named Daniel. 62 years old, retired, carrying a quiet shame in his chest. He has not spoken to his wife about his struggles, though she has noticed the distance. Each night, he pours himself a glass of wine, hoping to relax, but waking weaker. One evening, after reading about natural nighttime rituals, he makes a different choice. He prepares a drink made from beetroot powder stirred into warm water. The color is deep, earthy red, the taste sharp yet grounding. He drinks it slowly, sits in quiet, and goes to bed. That night, his sleep is deeper than it has been in months. He dreams. He wakes before dawn and notices the strength he thought was lost. His wife, seeing his face, asks what is different. He shrugs, but inside he knows something simple has shifted. This is the power of nightly rituals. They are not about perfection, but consistency, about giving the body what it needs at the precise time it is designed to heal. Science supports Daniel's story. Beetroot, rich in dietary nitrates, has been shown to raise nitric oxide levels for hours after consumption. When taken at night, those levels peak as the body enters repair mode. By morning, vessels are more flexible, blood flows more freely, and performance returns. It is not magic, it is chemistry aligned with biology. And beetroot is not alone. Other nightly drinks can support this cycle. Tart cherry juice, known to increase melatonin and improve sleep quality. Warm cocoa rich in flavanols that open blood vessels. Even a simple infusion of pomegranate, bursting with antioxidants. These drinks do more than comfort, they rebuild. Yet the ritual is about more than ingredients. It is about intention. When a man takes the time to prepare something for his health, he signals to his body and mind that he is worthy of care. This shift, though quiet, matters. The shame of silence begins to dissolve when action takes its place. There is also rhythm in ritual. The body thrives on cycles. When the same steps are repeated each night, preparing the drink, dimming the lights, avoiding screens. The nervous system calms, cortisol drops, and sleep comes easier. The drink is not only fuel, it is a signal, a message that says, it is time to rest, to repair, to rise again stronger. Over weeks, this nightly practice can reshape not just mornings, but entire lives. Confidence grows as the body responds. Intimacy returns, not as duty, but as joy. The man who once hid in silence now shares openly because his body affirms him again. The ritual before bed becomes not only a tool of health, but a symbol of renewal. One man once described it this way: "It feels like I've been given back a part of myself I thought was gone." That is the gift of nightly rituals, not only stronger performance, but the return of identity, pride, and connection. So as the day closes, remember, the night is not empty, it is full of potential, and the glass you raise before sleep, if chosen with care, can determine the strength with which you rise. Part 4. Nature's Secret Ingredients. If nightly rituals are the stage, then the ingredients themselves are the actors who bring the story to life. For centuries, cultures around the world have used plants, roots, and fruits not just as food, but as medicine. Modern science now validates what tradition always knew. Nature holds within it the power to restore vitality, especially in the quiet hours of night. Take beetroot, for instance. This humble root, grown in the soil and rich in deep red pigments, is a powerhouse of dietary nitrates. Once consumed, these nitrates are converted in the body into nitric oxide, the molecule of life, the one that opens vessels and restores blood flow. For an older man, sipping beetroot juice before bed is not just drinking a vegetable, it is giving his blood vessels the key to flexibility. Studies show that beetroot can lower blood pressure, increase stamina, and yes, support the very performance men long to reclaim. Then there is tart cherry juice. On the surface, it seems like a sweet indulgence, but hidden within are anthocyanins and melatonin. The anthocyanins fight inflammation, protecting the vessels, while melatonin eases the body into deeper sleep. One small glass before bed can calm the nervous system and set the stage for repair. Men who once woke restless and drained can wake renewed, all because a fruit grown on a tree carries within it the rhythm of night. Pomegranate, too, has its place in this orchestra of renewal. Known in ancient times as the fruit of vitality, modern research shows it is rich in antioxidants that protect the lining of blood vessels. Drinking its juice can increase blood flow, reduce arterial stiffness, and feed the very pathways that support intimacy. A man who chooses pomegranate before bed is not just drinking juice. He is fortifying his heart, his circulation, his confidence. And let us not forget cocoa, the seed once considered sacred, not the sugar-laden powder of modern sweets, but raw, dark cocoa rich in flavanols. These compounds stimulate nitric oxide, relax the vessels, and soothe the mind. A warm cup before sleep is comfort, but also chemistry, helping blood flow freely and dreams come more easily. Together, these natural drinks form a pharmacy without pills, a medicine chest without prescriptions. They do not mask symptoms. They do not force the body. They work in harmony, supporting the processes already within, whispering to the vessels, open, flow, renew. But the ingredients of nature are not limited to drinks. Herbs like ashwagandha, known for calming stress, ginseng, revered for centuries for its effect on vitality, and L-citrulline from watermelon, all play a role in supporting circulation and energy. Imagine a man who once reached for a glass of wine, now reaching for a warm infusion of ginseng tea. The change is not only physical, but symbolic. A choice for life instead of decline. In one clinic, a physician recalls the story of Henry, 70 years old, weary from years of disappointment. He had tried medications, each leaving him with side effects. He had nearly given up until one evening he began a nightly ritual with pomegranate juice. Within weeks, his energy returned. Within months, his intimacy did too. His wife, with tears in her eyes, whispered, "I feel like I have my husband back." That was not the work of chemistry alone. It was the work of nature, chosen with intention. What ties all these ingredients together is their simplicity. They do not require wealth or complicated recipes. They require only awareness and consistency. A glass of beetroot juice, a small serving of tart cherry, a warm cocoa, all are within reach. Yet their effects ripple far beyond the glass. They touch the vessels, the hormones, the sleep, the spirit. Nature has always offered these gifts. It is we who have forgotten to listen. In the rush of modern life, we traded roots for pills, fruits for chemicals, rituals for convenience. But when we return, when we hold a glass of something pure before bed, we remember. We remember that strength does not fade with age. It fades with neglect, and it can return with care. So let the night be your ally, and let the ingredients of nature be your tools. Because what you drink before bed can determine not only the strength of your morning, but the vitality of your life. Part 5. The role of deep rest. If circulation is the fuel and nutrition is the spark, then sleep is the workshop where everything comes together. Without deep, restorative rest, the body cannot rebuild, no matter how carefully it is fed. The hours of the night hold the key to balance. Hormones are released, muscles repair, blood vessels heal, and the brain resets. To drink the right thing before bed is to prepare the workshop for its night's work. To neglect sleep is to lock the doors and leave the repairs undone. Sleep is divided into cycles, each with its own role. Light sleep calms the body, deep sleep repairs tissues, and REM sleep fuels the mind with clarity. For men struggling with performance, it is deep sleep that matters most. Growth hormone, testosterone, and melatonin all surge at night, and without them, strength cannot return. Every missed hour of sleep is a missed opportunity for renewal. Consider Michael, age 68. For years he fell asleep in front of the television, waking restless at 3 a.m. and dragging through the next day. His performance faltered, his confidence fell. He thought the problem was permanent. But when he began a nightly ritual, turning off screens, dimming the lights, and drinking a cup of warm cocoa rich in flavonols, everything shifted. He slept deeply, woke with clarity, and slowly felt strength return to mornings he had long given up on. Science explains this. Cocoa flavonols increase nitric oxide, improving blood flow even as the body rests. Melatonin from tart cherries deepens the sleep cycle. Magnesium, found in leafy greens and seeds, relaxes the muscles and calms the nervous system. These are not drugs forcing the body into unconsciousness. They are allies helping the body return to its natural rhythm. But rest is not only physical, it is also psychological. Stress, anxiety, and silent shame all steal sleep. A man may lie in bed, his mind racing, worrying about his body, his future, his worth. The hours pass, but rest never comes. The cycle worsens. Poor sleep reduces testosterone, which further weakens performance, which deepens the shame, which steals more sleep. To break this cycle, the body must be given tools, but so must the mind. Nightly rituals are as much about calming the spirit as feeding the body. Preparing a drink, dimming the room, avoiding arguments or heavy thoughts, these acts signal safety. The nervous system, always alert during the day, finally relaxes. Cortisol drops, blood pressure falls, the vessels open. The workshop of the body begins its silent labor. In studies, men who improved their sleep saw marked increases in testosterone, energy, and intimacy. They did not need more pills, they needed more rest. For them, the drink before bed was not only nutrition, but a signal to the body. It is time to heal. Deep rest is not a luxury, it is as essential as breath. Without it, the best nutrition, the strongest exercise, the most determined will, all falter. With it, even the smallest nightly ritual can blossom into transformation. Imagine a man who once dreaded the night, lying awake with worry. Now he welcomes it. He prepares his glass. He sits quietly. He breathes. He sleeps without fear, and in the morning, he feels not only rested, but renewed. This is the power of deep rest, the unseen force that restores what was thought lost. So when we speak of stronger performance by morning, we are not speaking of magic. We are speaking of biology. Blood flow, nitric oxide, and hormones all depend on sleep. To drink wisely before bed is to feed the night, and to feed the night is to reclaim the morning. The workshop is ready. The question is whether we will allow it to do its work. Part 6. Stacking habits for better nights. A single glass before bed can make a difference, but when it is combined with other small intentional behaviors, the effect multiplies. Doctors call this behavior stacking, layering simple actions so that each one supports the next. For older adults, especially those seeking stronger mornings, this principle can transform not only sexual vitality, but overall health. Take something as modest as an evening walk. 10 or 15 minutes after dinner at an easy pace can lower blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and stimulate nitric oxide release. For George, 71, this small walk became his ritual. At first, he thought it trivial, but within weeks, he noticed he slept more soundly, his blood pressure dropped, and his energy improved. When paired with his nightly beetroot and cherry juice, the benefits amplified. His body was not only fueled by nutrients, but also primed by movement. Then there is the pelvic floor. Many men laugh at the idea of Kegels, imagining them to be exercises only for women. Yet studies show that strengthening these deep muscles improves control over blood flow in and out of the penis, helping maintain firmness. Just 2 minutes of practice, tightening as though stopping urine midstream, holding and releasing before bed is enough to build awareness and resilience. Think of it as tuning the valves before turning on the water. Stress management is another essential stack. Cortisol is the hidden thief of both sleep and performance. A body flooded with stress hormones cannot relax blood vessels or produce steady testosterone. This is why rituals of calm, deep breathing, gentle stretching, Even writing a few lines in a journal works so well when combined with a nightly drink. One technique, the 4 to 7 8 breath, has helped countless patients. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. 5 cycles of this before bed, and the nervous system shifts into parasympathetic mode, the rest and digest state where erections are possible and healing begins. Heat also plays a role. A warm shower or bath an hour before bed draws blood to the surface, lowers core temperature, and tells the brain it is time to sleep. For men over 60, this habit is especially useful, as natural melatonin production declines with age. The warm water works with the drink, both preparing the body to enter deep cycles of rest, where hormones surge. And finally, the bedroom itself must become an ally. Cool, dark, and quiet. No glowing screens, no blinking lights, no buzzing notifications. Even dim light can suppress melatonin and blunt testosterone rhythm. The man who carries his phone to bed and scrolls under the covers is sabotaging the very repair he seeks. But the man who sets the device aside, sips his drink, and enters the night calmly, gives his body permission to restore. When these habits stack together, walk, drink, pelvic engagement, breathing, warm shower, and quiet sleep space, the results are striking. Each is small, almost trivial on its own. But like stones in an arch, together they create strength and stability. Robert, age 73, once confessed he felt too old to change. Yet after learning this stacking approach, he began to experiment. He didn't try everything at once. He started with the drink, then added walks, then breathing. After 3 months, he felt lighter, stronger, more himself. His mornings returned, not with the vigor of youth, but with a steady confidence he thought lost forever. This is the lesson. Performance is not built on grand gestures. It is built on small, steady behaviors that align with biology. Stacking habits around a nightly drink is not a gimmick. It is a system. A system that works because it respects the rhythms of the body and the wisdom of consistency. Each night becomes a ritual, a signal, a preparation for the morning. And in time, the morning answers back with strength, with clarity, with the quiet pride of knowing you took action, not excuses. Part 7, bringing it all together. The journey has circled back to the beginning, a simple drink before bed, and the promise of waking renewed by morning. What began as a curiosity, could something so small matter, has become a deeper understanding that sexual performance is not an isolated function. It is a reflection of the entire system. Blood flow, hormones, nerves, and rest all working in harmony. For men over 50, the morning is more than a time of day. It is a mirror. To wake with energy and confidence is to know the body is alive, circulating, restoring. To wake tired, uncertain, or diminished is to see that something within needs care. And the care required is neither complicated nor shameful. It is daily, gentle, and entirely possible. The drink, whether beetroot juice, tart cherry, or a blend with magnesium, supplies nitrates, polyphenols, and minerals that nourish the endothelium, the lining of the vessels. It sparks nitric oxide, the silent messenger that tells arteries to open, blood to flow, tissues to oxygenate. Paired with sleep, it works through the night to prepare the body for the morning. But the drink alone is not the whole story. It is a keystone in an arch, Around it sit the other stones: the evening walk, the calm breath, the warm shower, the quiet bedroom. Each habit strengthens the others. Together, they create an environment where repair is not interrupted, where hormones rise naturally, where vascular pathways remain clear and elastic. Consider the truth that has emerged across these pages. Erectile function is a vital sign. When it falters, it is not only a private issue, it is the body's signal that the vascular system is under strain. The smallest arteries, those of the penis, reveal problems years before the heart does. To restore performance is not vanity, it is health, it is prevention, it is life itself. And so the story is not about loss, it is about return. Men who thought their best days were gone have found them again by respecting their biology, not fighting it. By replacing shame with science, fear with curiosity, silence with action. Picture the man who tonight pours his glass. He has turned off the television, dimmed the room. He walks slowly to his chair, breathes deeply, and drinks. Tomorrow he will wake, stretch, and feel the quiet strength within. Not the reckless vigor of youth, but the steady power of a body cared for. This is not fantasy, it is the reward of consistency. So, what is the lesson to carry? That aging does not mean surrender. That performance is not a switch to be flipped, but a flame to be tended. That blood flow, rest, and nutrition weave together to create mornings that feel alive. And that tonight, with a single glass, the process can begin. Your body is waiting to heal. Your vessels are waiting to open. Your hormones are waiting to balance. And your mornings are waiting to return. All it asks is that you give it what it needs. One small drink, one calm night, one steady habit at a time. One simple drink before bed can change the way you feel by morning. Not with gimmicks or pills, but with natural choices that support blood flow, hormones, and deep sleep. Beetroot juice, tart cherry juice, and magnesium blends stand out as powerful allies, nourishing vessels, calming inflammation, and helping the body repair overnight. We also learned that performance isn't just about intimacy. It's a vital sign of overall health, often signaling cardiovascular issues before the heart does. By pairing the right nightly drink with small habits, hydration, relaxation, and quality rest, men can reclaim steady energy and confidence each morning. The message is simple. Aging doesn't mean surrender. With consistent care, mornings can feel strong again. If this helped you, don't forget to subscribe, tap like, and share this with someone who deserves to feel alive and confident every day.